What's going on YouTube? This is Eric Kelly, aka the Tech Gentleman, bringing you guys another G vlog. And I had to do one today because I don't know if you noticed, but there are so many Google Pixel videos, so many up. Obviously, the embargoes have lifted, so everybody's publishing their unboxings and their initial reviews. And I've noticed kind of three main kind of common threads with all the reviews. One, the phone is really good. Very well rounded, not many complaints. The only complaints that I've really heard from anybody have been sort of wanting more, so not really a negative against the phone. So that's always great. Number two, the lack of OIS has been concerning to some people, but apparently, especially on the video side, all the reviewers have been just floored with the video stabilization technique that Google is using. They're using something called electronic image stabilization, or EIS. And basically what that does is it ties the camera to the gyroscope in the phone, and apparently it has some super sampling gyroscope that samples movement like 200 times a second or something, and they say it's supposed to be better than actual video stabilization, optical image stabilization, I guess. And apparently it works pretty well. The video I've seen, I mean, it looks like the phone is on sort of like a camcorder rig or something like that. Just how stable it is. So that's the second thing. And the third thing, the battery life, which is something that I was kind of concerned about, not in a negative way, just I was hoping that they would take this time and this opportunity to make some improvements to battery life. And apparently they have. I'm on The Verge. Dieter Bohn said that the battery life on his Pixel XL was about 2 hours better than what he was getting on the iPhone and on any other Android phone, which is amazing, but it makes sense. Google has control of the entire stack this time, so that allows them to further optimize the software to work with the hardware. So this is a 100% Google device, and that's one of the benefits that we're supposed to get: optimization of the battery and also optimization of the software. So it seems like they're kind of living up to that, that expectation, which I'm happy for. I think they'll still have to do some more work to kind of justify the price point. I think people are still, they give the phone praise, and then after it's all said and done, everybody's still like, yeah, but it's still expensive, which nobody really says about the iPhone, which is kind of interesting because you get less with the iPhone than you do with an Android phone. You get less features, you get fewer options, you get fewer customizations, and you just get less freedom with the device. So I think that's interesting that that's what they choose to kind of choose to highlight. Let's see. So I just want to take a second to talk about the Google Pixel. I don't have one. I'm not ordering one as of right now. It's just too high, but it's just not enough for me. I think if you have a S7 Edge, or an iPhone, there's really nothing in this phone that will pull you away from that phone. You have one of the best cameras in the iPhone or the S7. Have some of the best screen tech. You're getting good battery life, getting great build quality, getting a good software experience. It's just not enough to pull you away from it. So that's really just kind of really my motivation for not being interested in one. If you've been waiting around, or even if you were coming from a Note 7, I think that looking at the Pixel XL is priced comparably to the to the Note 7, especially and if you think about it, for the Note 7 price, you can get 128 gigs on the Pixel. I see Urban Tech. What's up? It's good, Chicago. Appreciate y'all for stopping by, man. Just taking a little after work or after lunch stroll, man. We got this little path that goes around this lake back behind my office building. And I want to take this time to talk about the Pixel right now, man. I know y'all know it's so many Pixel videos up. My YouTube timeline has been flooded. All the Android sites have been flooded. It's a big deal, man. This phone coming out and Google taking on this new direction with the company. It's got a lot of people nervous, man. And ironically, the person who's the most, or the company who's the most nervous, just from what I've been seeing, is Amazon. Because I've been getting so many notifications from Amazon to buy their stuff. They've lowered the price of the Alexa Dot. You can basically buy into the Alexa ecosystem for $50 now. And the day that Google was announcing Google Home, I kid you not, I was getting notifications and emails from Amazon left and right. Hey, make sure you check out our Amazon Dot. Make sure you go buy it. And I'm like, it's not happening, man. It's still too limited in the stuff that's important to me. So it just has no chance. But yeah, man, it's a big deal. Chicago says, I woke up to the Pixel bonanza on my YouTube timeline. I have the Echo, it's cool, but I wish you could do more. Yeah, man, I think that's what everybody's expecting from home. It just has to do more because it has more information. Like, nobody's using Amazon devices. You know, nobody's using, like, Amazon doesn't have access to your email. All Amazon can do is sell you stuff. But they can't help you with your daily life, right? So they can't help you with your next appointment. They can't help you with your emails, with your flights. You know, they can't help you with any of that stuff. I'm just gonna chill out right here for a second. I know y'all see the sweat. Like I said, I'm out here getting a little after lunch walk in. But yeah, man, it's a big deal. I'm just curious to see how the other OEMs are going to respond, like Samsung and HTC and LG, because as of right now, like, the hand that's feeding you is also competing with you now. You know, right now you're waiting on Google to provide you with, you know, software updates, and, you know, they're providing the OS for your hardware, but they're in it to win it. You know, it's not like the Nexus program where, you know, they just made some stuff and it didn't really matter because they weren't really hoarding any features. Like, there weren't any Nexus special features. Like, if Samsung wanted to, they could release a Galaxy device that had the exact same software as a Nexus, but not with the Google Pixel. They won't have access to the Google Assistant, supposedly, so that's going to be an issue. And I'm just curious to see how it's going to tie in with the Google Home, because I really think that that's going to be Google's play, is their ecosystem. Like, there has to be some advantage to having a Pixel phone. Supposedly, I heard that if you have a Google Home set up, for one, you can have multiple Google Home devices in your house, and they will all be listening, and whichever one you're closest to that picks up your voice the best will be the one that basically listens for your command. But also, I heard that if you have a Pixel phone, you'll also be able to it'll also be listening as well. So if you're just closest to your phone, you can, you know, do the OK Google request and actually have Google Home pick up that request through your Pixel phone. So it'll be always on, always listening as well, which is kind of scary, but, you know, that's a big deal. So I think it's going to be interesting. I know that Samsung has always been the king of trying to have something special, something unique. And I think Google is trying to one-up them, man. And they've got a great starting point. They've had all the other OEMs to watch and take notes of. So their first device, you know, is iPhone level. And you think about it, Samsung is the closest manufacturer to emulating the success of the iPhone and actually overtaking them. Um, but it took them 7 iterations, 6 or 7, depending on how you look at it. The S6 was definitely a success, but I think that it was really I'm not gonna say no contest, but there was a clear difference between the S7 and iPhone. They just didn't have that advantage anymore. The conversation wasn't even as heated anymore. If you had an iPhone and somebody pulled out an S7 Edge and the silver, started taking pictures and recording, and it was rough on you, man. What's up, Tech for your needs? What's going on, man? What's up, Robert? Yeah, man, that's a good point. Not on all carriers, but I think that Google is really, they don't want to break the bank on this first device because there's really just so much. There's only so much success and penetration that they can have with this being their first device. Really, the goal right now is to put out a solid product, get that word of mouth and their reputation going, letting people know like, hey, Google is making a phone. This is Google's first phone, not those other Nexus things you might have heard about. And this phone is great. Hardware, software, camera, screen, audio. It's great, just as good as the iPhone, priced comparably. So if you're looking at an iPhone, it's not that hard to look across the aisle of the Pixel device, and you won't have a price difference to scare you off. But I think they're going to be kind of, not necessarily chill, because they definitely be putting out commercials. Even though I think the commercials are kind of confusing, I think that they should just be showing the phone the whole time, and maybe in like an Apple style kind of advertisement, have somebody holding the phone and showing off a particular feature. Like right now they're doing the whole little search bar that morphs into a phone thing. I think it's kind of obscure, kind of abstract. I think that they should actually highlight a feature of the phone in one of their ads and say like, this is this thing that we do well, like the camera or the Google Assistant or something like that. Let's see what else we got going there. Yeah, you're right, Robert. Not everybody's paying $800 out of pocket, man. That's definitely not happening. But I do think that in America it's getting easier. I know in other countries, they don't have the option to, get on a 2-year contract or lease a device. They have to buy it unlocked at full price. I think that's just going to hurt them, but it's the same problem that a Samsung or Apple might have. So they're not necessarily at a disadvantage when it comes to their main competitors with the price point. I mean, it's priced exactly the same as an iPhone, but you get more. For $850, you get 128 gigs on the Google Pixel XL, or you can pay I think it's like $750 or $760 or something like that on the regular Google Pixel and get 128 gigs of storage. Plus you got the unlimited backup, for your full res pictures and 4K video. So that's cool. I think that's, like I say, they need to keep the commercials going, but kind of highlight some of these features, man. Like, nobody knows why they should buy a Pixel right now. I don't know if they're waiting on the reviews to drop or for the phones to be in stores, and they're kind of keeping it low key, but I think they should definitely kick it up and start letting people know, like, hey, this is why you should buy a Pixel. But man, I'm not gonna make this video too long. Like I said, I just wanted to hop on and see. Robert says Samsung signed a 10-year agreement not to leave Android, and that might be true, man. I think that Samsung can keep doing what they're doing and still make buku money with selling Android devices. I don't think that that's really an issue. I think it's just going to be, I think manufacturers are going to start looking elsewhere as far as, options for an OS. But at the end of the day, if Google's going to continue to provide you with a free OS, free security patching, and free updates, it's going to be kind of hard to invest the time and money in developing your own OS. See, Tech for Your Needs says is going to hinder due to the fact of the price outright in other countries. Yeah, I mentioned it earlier that we're kind of lucky in America because you can walk into a store right now, and if your credit's good, you can get a phone, You can finance a phone or lease it, zero down with no interest, and walk out with the $800 phone, and it costs you nothing out of pocket, and you pay, you know, 28, 29 bucks a month, or 30 bucks a month or whatever for this phone. See, Robert says Samsung made Google sell Motorola. I don't know if I agree with that. Several companies have been interested in Motorola, not for their mobile division, but for the patents. Like, you forget Motorola basically owns like most of the radio communication patents. Like, Motorola invented a lot of that technology and pioneered that tech, so they have a lot of those patents, and that's really what I think that Google was after with that Motorola grab. What's going on, Kev? I see you, man. That man out here just taking a little break after lunch. Just getting a little walk in. See if I can show you all a little bit of my view right now. This is pretty cool. Building right there, got a little path that goes around to the right over here. It hooks back up out there. But yeah, man, just sitting there on the bench in the shade, overlooking the lake. Out behind my building. Bring it on back. Yeah, man, it's pretty relaxing, man. Especially when the weather's good like this. It's like probably like 75 degrees out here. You know, I'm in the shade, chilling. Nice little breeze going. Can't complain, man. Make it hard to want to go back inside, which I need to do in a second. See, Robert says, remember the Samsung tablet OS that never came out? Google got scared. When you say tablet OS, are you talking about the Tizen OS? I'm assuming you're talking about the Tizen OS. And the Tizen OS actually is a thing. Like, that's what runs Google's, not Google, that's what runs Samsung smartwatches. So the Gear S2, the Gear S3, those watches actually run Tizen. They don't run Android Wear. And as far as I can tell, Samsung has no plans of releasing that. You say, nah, I don't remember the Samsung tablet OS that never came out. See, drop me the name of it and maybe I'll remember. But yeah, tech for your needs, man. This is a nice view, man. Definitely a nice view. But yeah, man, if in case anybody was wondering, see, Samsung Tab S10.1 had a launcher. The Tab S was running Android. I mean, they had an ugly little, Samsung's known for skinning stuff. But that was still running Android. As a matter of fact, that tablet just had a... Yeah, the Tab S10.1 was running Android. Let's see. So, Robert, you saying they had no Google app? I'm not really getting it, bro. Man, it's nice out here. But yeah, in case anybody's wondering, man, I'm using the S7 Edge to stream this, and I'm using the native live stream app. And it's been holding up pretty well, man. My first vlog I did yesterday, it crashed like 2 times during the vlog, but it would pick right up. Like, if you watch the stream, I did go into a 3G area at one point and it got kind of sketchy. The quality did, but for the most part, it holds up. And this one. And let me know what y'all think about the Google Pixel. Like, comment, subscribe. Like I say, give me some feedback. If y'all like the G vlogs, I'm gonna keep them going, definitely. This is another way I can reach out to you guys and just have a convo with you. Oh, I'm in Birmingham right now. Down here in Birmingham, man. Alabama. I know it's a Birmingham, England, so I guess I got to be specific. But yeah, man. Out here in the South. But I'm going to holler at y'all, man. Till next time, guys. Peace.